Good evening. At this time, we're going to start we have two citations. Will be Council McKinnon and also Council McGonigal. At first, I'd like to ask Mr. Council McKinnon to come to the podium right now for his presentation.
First, I'd like to start off by saying this is an honor and a privilege to actually give this citation to a family that's been in the city for a long, long period of time. In recognition of this fine young man, he became an Eagle Scout not too long ago. It's a very prestigious honor, and you should be very, very proud of yourself. You are now a man, young man, and you have all the badges to prove it, I'm sure. So, the mayor's going to say a few words, Mr. McGonigal is going to say a few words, and then we're going to present the citation to you. Mr. Mayor, do you have any words?
Thank you, Councilman McKinnon. I had the opportunity to present my citation to Jonathan in my office just a little while ago. I've known Jonathan and his family probably for, I don't know, 12 years or so, maybe even more. And it's, just to see, I haven't seen him in a while, and just to see him in the office and his mannerisms and his professionalism, it's just great. And I think I attribute a lot of that to your parents, but also to the Boy Scouts of America, and to attain this prestigious award of becoming an Eagle Scout. You should be very proud of you, because I know all of us here are very proud of you. I don't think any of us here become Boy Scouts. Of course, Mr. Mayor is a Boy Scout. So we're all very proud of you, and congratulations. You're welcome.
Mr. McGonigal?
Just very brief, so that people know what this young man accomplished. The ages from 12 to 18, and to earn an Eagle Scout badge, all right, they must get 21 merit badges. And they must plan and develop an Eagle Scout project that will benefit the community. So it's a tremendous honor what this young man did. We're all very proud of him, and good luck for the future, okay? Thank you. Nice job.
I'll read the citation. Be it hereby known to all that the Everett City Council, in his honor, the mayor, hereby offer their sincerest congratulations to Jonathan Jake Tumberlin. In recognition of the happy and memorial occasion of your accomplishment, Eagle Scout Court of Honor, Boy Scout Troop 109 Everett, the entire city government extends its very best wishes on this memorial occasion and expresses the hope for continued good fortune. You sure? You can if you want. Go ahead, say a little bit. Why not? You got the stage. There you go.
Becoming an Eagle Scout has been a lifelong goal for me. At first, when I was in Cub Scouts, I never heard of an Eagle Scout until I made it to the highest rank in Cub Scouts, which was Webelos 2. After that, I transferred over into Troop 20. Then after Troop 20, I went up through a few ranks, and another troop came and asked me for help. I then transferred over to that troop to help them, and through that, I made it through the rest of the ranks, and I'm currently working on going a bit higher in my scouting career, until I get as many palms as I can, which means I have to try and get more merit badges. Thank you very much, and I'm very proud of myself.
Congratulations. Citation. Do what you will. Okay? You can have your, you want your pictures from the parents and everything?
Congratulations. Good, good, good. Take care there. Good. At this time, Councilman McGonigal would like to hand out the citations.
Once again, it's apparently citation night at City Council chambers, but I have a strong affiliation with Everett Youth Soccer because of my own children involved in the program, and I've watched how hard the coaches and the parents and everybody works to make this program a success. And I know, I'm very happy that the mayor's here this evening, because I know the parents want to thank him personally for what he's done down the Maddie English School. Now, this team, the Dynamos, they're the 10 and under, I believe, Coach? 10 and under. They had a record of 12-0. They outscored their opponents 53-4, 53 goals, 4 against. They were tremendous. So they became Division IV Middlesex champs this year, and I'm very proud of them. And I want to say this to everybody. They're a very humble group of children. Their parents do a great job with them, and their coaches do an exceptional job to keep them in check. So congratulations to each and every one of them. I'll read one citation, and then we'll have you come up and get them. Be it hereby known to all that the Everett City Council, in his honor, the mayor, hereby offer their sincerest congratulations to the Dynamos, 2014 Division IV Middlesex champions. The entire city government extends its very best wishes on this memorable occasion and expresses the hope for continued good fortune. Congratulations. Yeah, Mr. Mayor, would you like to come up?
Thank you, Democratic-elect Representative McGonigal and City Council McGonigal. Yes, he worked very hard for that, so congratulations to you, Joe. 4 goals, that's all you let up is 4 goals. That's unbelievable. Who was the goalie? Good job. Good job. Well, did you have many shots on net? That's what I want to know. How was your defensive front? Were they protecting you good? Huh? Good job. Good job. You know, I think Ed Senabaldi and I had many conversations about Maddie English Field and the condition it was in, and I promised him when I became mayor that I'd take care of that field for him, and I want to thank the members of the city council here, because it's not just me. They allowed me to go forward and bond the money to do that stadium, that field over. So I think, you know, for us, kids are the most important thing in the city. Whatever we can do, if it's your schooling or your fields, it's very important that we try to keep you here in the city when you get older. So that's one of my main goals, is to do all the parks over here in the city of Everett. So you have some great fields to play in. And it showcases our city, because people come from other communities, they come into our city, and when they see the parks in terrible condition, they think bad of us. So I'm glad you guys were very successful, boys and girls, very successful. You should be very proud of yourselves. That's to go undefeated is a tremendous feat. I'm very proud of you that you're in organized sports. Stay in organized sports. Not only will keep you healthy, but it'll also keep you safe. I want to thank the coaches and the organization and the parents for what you do. Thank you all. Thank you for inviting me, Alderman McGonigal, and it's nice to see everybody. Have a great evening.
Do you want to try reading them? No, you want me to read them? Yeah, okay.
Mona Bargatch. Bargatch. I'm sorry if I tortured the last name. Isabel Colas. Okay. We'll give it to you, Coach, after. Isaiah Colas. Kevin here. Daniel Monge. Good job, kiddo. Gary Moran. Gotta have fun with this. Jonathan Noguera. That's the goalie, too. Noguera. Noguera. Good job, buddy. John Perkins. Edwin Tajita. Said wrong. Brian Vale. Not here. Okay. Kara Wilcox. That was an easy one. Exactly. Of course. Yeah. She'll take a look at it. Good job. Kevin Rodriguez. What's up, buddy? Rex Falis. John Perkins, coach. David Wilcox, assistant coach.
He's coaching football, actually.
Oh, all right. Placida Colas, assistant coach. Did I get that right? Coach, you have 3 left over. Yep. How do you want to do it?
Good. You guys want to take the pictures? We'll have the mayor stand with us, and Mr. McGonigal. Yep. State representative, guys, come over here. Get a nice-
Yeah, let's, get in this. Yeah, leave him right in front. Leave him right in front.
Come on, guys, organize.
It's like a pro. Get in this. No, they're getting in this. Come on, Mr. Mayor.
I will. I read the name, so I must do it. It was tough, I'll tell you.
Big smile.
And I did, if you may, I did notice some other some other players in the audience, so if we owe you a citation, you know, put your name into to myself or to Coach Perkins, and we'll make sure that you got one, okay? And once again, I want to thank the parents for the great job that you did and for bringing them here. Have a great evening.
The meeting of the city council will come to order. Clerk, call the roll call, please.
Counsel Capone.
Here.
Counsel Delasola.
Here.
Counsel DeFlorio. Counsel Hanlon.
Here.
Counsel McGonigal.
Here.
Counsel McKinney.
Here.
Counsel Napolitano.
Here.
Counsel Sechetta.
Here.
Counsel Sani. Here. Counsel Simonelli.
Present.
Counsel Marchese.
Here.
11 members present, Mr. President.
We have a quorum. Please stand and salute the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Here, you want me to get this thing? So make a motion on the public participation, please.
Make a motion to open public participation.
Second. Second.
Motion made, second, open public participation. All in favor? Opposed? At this time, anybody who has
I don't have anybody on the sign-in sheet,
no one on this?
no, so I make a motion to close public participation.
Motion made, second, to close the public participation. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? As soon as clerk comes back, we'll start.
Make a motion to suspend the rules and take item 2 off the calendar.
Don't have to, it's next.
That is the next one.
Oh, that's what it is, I'm sorry. I'm all right.
Item number 2 is an order sponsored by Counsel Michael Marquez, is present, subject to confirmation by the Honorable City Council. I hereby appoint Kathleen O'Brien to the Conservation Commission for a term of 3 years.
Favorable action on the
Chairman,
order?
Mr. Chairman, is she
Is
present?
Ms. O'Brien present? Please stand up so we can say, nice to meet you. Okay.
Second motion for favorable action.
Motion made and second to confirm Ms. Kathleen O'Brien to the Conservation Commission for a term of 3 years. Roll call vote.
Counsel Capone.
Yes.
Counsel Delasola.
Yes.
Counsel DeFlorio.
Yes.
Counsel Hanlon. Counsel McGonigal.
Yes.
Counsel McKinney.
Yes.
Counsel Napolitano.
Yes.
Counsel Sechetta.
Yes.
Counsel Sani.
Yes.
Counsel Simonelli.
Yes.
Counsel Marchese.
Yes.
11 yeas, 0 nays, Mr. President.
Congratulations, Ms. O'Brien, you've been confirmed. Clerk, read item number 3, please.
Item number 3 is an ordinance sponsored by Counsel Michael K. Marquez, as President, in accordance with Section 5-1 of the Everett Home Rule Charter. The City Council adopts the administrative code.
Chair, make a motion to refer this to legislative affairs.
Motion made and second, referred this to Legislative Affairs. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Has been referred to the Committee of Legislative Affairs. Clerk, read item 4, please.
Item number 4 is an order sponsored by Counsel Marquez, as President, petition for a permanent awning to replace existing fabric awning with new awning at Top International Hair Salon.
Mr. Chairman, through you,
What color is that?
It is crimson. It is red.
And everything's in order?
Yes.
favorable action, Mr. Chairman.
Motion made and second for favorable action. Roll call vote.
Counsel Capone.
Yes.
Counsel Delasola.
Yes.
Counsel DeFlorio.
Yes.
Counsel Hanlon.
Yes.
Counsel McGonigal.
Yes.
Counsel McKinnon.
Yes.
Counsel Napolitano.
Yes.
Counsel Sechetta.
Yes.
Counsel Sani.
Yes.
Counsel Simonelli.
Yes.
Counsel Marchese.
Yes.
11 yeas, 0 nays, Mr. President.
The petition has been granted. Clerk, read item number 5.
Item number 5 is Legislative Affairs and Elections Committee report that the City Council and the Mayor's Office were collaborating to develop a snow shoveling ordinance for the City of Everett with a recommendation to refer to City Council with no recommendation.
Motion before you.
Chairman.
Counsel DeFlorio.
Mr. Chairman, in regards to the snow ordinance, I did go to the committee meeting, and this has been on for years. When we want a snow ordinance, we want it for public safety reasons. But what goes along with the snow ordinance is, just keep in mind that last year, all the snowstorms that we had, one right after another, there was no possible way you could get anybody to come and shovel or even clean your driveway. They were just overwhelmed. Now, I understand that we don't always have years like that. The elderly, the seniors are exempt from this ordinance. So now it doesn't become a public safety anymore. Because if the seniors at a certain point don't shovel, the kids still have to go around and go in the middle of the street. So I am voting against this tonight for that reason. Thank you.
Do we have any, anybody else? Councilor Napolitano?
Thank you. I don't want to give the public the wrong idea. I mean, I'm on the fence with this, on this ordinance because, I mean, I'm split between the idea of being forced people to do something that the city should be doing itself, but at the same time, I also understand the public safety aspect of it. You know, in the committee, committee, we did discuss, you know, that there is going to be exceptions, like the type of storms that were just discussed. In spite of that, you know, I also want to make it clear that in the ordinance, seniors are not exempt. Seniors need to qualify for an exempt based on income, based on health. It's not just cut and dry. And in that respect, you know, some of the areas that I had some issues with, the chief of staff did, you know, leave some of my concerns. You know, we have a letter here from both chiefs, both police and fire chief, encouraging
I was going
us
to read that
support this.
if you wanted me to.
If you could, please.
Yep.
You know, I think public safety is a factor here as well.
Sure. Before Mr. Capone, Council Capone, just let me read this from Chief Butler. Dear Mr. President, Honorable City Council, this letter is in reference to the Legislative Affairs and Elections Committee report that the City Council and the Mayor's Office work collaboratively to develop a snow shoveling ordinance for the City of Everett, which appears on the agenda for the City Council, scheduled for September 22nd, 2014. I would fully support the development of such an ordinance here in the City of Everett. Over the course of my career and beyond, the fire department has made an effort to shovel our hydrants to the best of our ability after major storms. But with over 800 fire hydrants in the city, we are unable to get a large percentage of them. We make an effort to get as many as possible on the major arteries, but with the ever-increasing number of calls, we often do not have time to get to those on the side streets. It is also sometimes very difficult to locate the exact location of the hydrants under several feet of snow. Assistance from citizens in keeping hydrants in the vicinity of property clear, so during major snowstorms would be have a tremendous effort in increasing the life safety of themselves, their families, and neighbors, and would allow the fire department to operate in a much more effective manner should the need arise. Again, I fully support the development of this ordinance, Chief Butler. Councilor Capone. Councilor Napolitano, are you done? I don't have that. Would you, Mike, would you like?
To the Honorable City Council, in the interest of public safety, I respectfully urge you to pass the ordinance requiring the shoveling of snow from public sidewalks. This is important for many reasons, not the least of which is to allow police, fire, and EMS access to the homes of those who need us in an emergency. I've seen many times first responders struggling in transporting an ill or injured person from their home to an ambulance through knee-high snow. I've seen police officers slip and fall in their attempt to answer calls for service. I've seen firefighters have to shovel out a hydrant before they can put out a fire and save a life. But beyond the emergency needs of having shoveled sidewalks, there's a common courtesy to our residents, our elderly, and our school children, all of whom suffer having to battle the ice and snow of unshoveled sidewalks just to go to work, go to the drugstore, or go to school. USPS letter carriers need shoveled sidewalks, as do our city services and inspectional services staff. Visiting nurses and hospice workers need shoveled sidewalks. The list goes on and on. I understand there might be exceptions for the elderly or the handicapped. Understand that people go away on vacation or get ill, and I hope you can find a way to address these issues and pass this important piece of legislation. Respectfully, Stephen A. Mazie, Chief of Police.
Councilor Capone.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Understandably, public safety is paramount, and I know that's where this piece is going, not only for the items that were mentioned in both of those letters, also people who are walking children to school. I can't tell you how many times I've seen people walking in the street because they can't walk on the sidewalk. That said, the way I look at shoveling the sidewalks, it's near impossible for the city to do it, at least not do it without a ridiculous cost that taxpayers cannot bear. I look at snow removal as kind of a burden of property ownership. I look at it as common courtesy, but I think it's very dangerous when you start trying to regulate common courtesy. I personally have not seen the particulars of this ordinance. I would not be able to vote favorably on something that I have yet to read. My recommendation, or at least for my part, if it came up for a vote tonight, I'd have to vote no, not seeing it. I need to know what the exemptions are. I need to know what the time frame is with regards to how soon you have to have it shoveled. Do we have incorporation that you have to buy salt or sand? Will the city be providing salt and sand if people are going to take the effort of shoveling the sidewalk? I have a lot of unanswered questions. So if it came for a vote tonight, I'd have to vote no, although I know the intent of the ordinance is a positive one. And I would ask that after the individuals have their say, maybe we lay it on the table and take a look at this thing a little more in depth, because I do think that it could become a very difficult thing to try to regulate.
Councilor Simonelli.
Thank you, Mr. President. I kind of agree with Councilor Capone about maybe putting this back into registration affairs. Because I don't know how exactly how they're gonna make these exceptions. I want to make it clear that the elderly and the handicapped, they have to know this, and it has to be somewhere written out where they won't get fined. It's big, that the elderly and the handicapped. And also, these absentee landlords, they should be fined double. For what they're doing to this city, they deserve it double for not cleaning out they don't want to live there, and they don't want to clean it there. But I agree, I think this should go back into committee. I agree with the two chiefs there, with the shoveling of the hydrants, and also of shoveling the snow to help the firemen too. So I love that part, but I think there's gotta be more into it to look into as far as the exemptions for the elderly and the handicapped. Thank you.
Councilor Sechella.
Yes, not to be repetitious, I do have to say that I agree with Councilor Capone regarding the fact that I haven't seen the items, I haven't seen the ordinance. Fact of the matter is, I was one that fought this for 6 years because of the elderly. Now there's an exemption in there. I'd like to know what the exemption is. Beyond that, what is the fine for anyone that doesn't shovel? I'd like to know what that is. So that's important in my factor. So again, I'd probably have to vote no until I see all of this. Thank you.
Councilor Del Sola.
I'd agree with my colleagues. There's too many questions here on this. I could see if you give, if someone doesn't shovel their walkway, if they get a fine, maybe once or twice. But if they don't do it after 10 hours of a snowstorm, to fine someone $25, for some reason, we don't know why they weren't out there shoveling it. So I'd have to hold off on my vote also until we can review this and have a clear view of what's going on here. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor DeFlorio.
Mr. Chairman, I would believe this maybe should go to public safety. That probably is the best place it should go. And as far as the hydrants, I understand the concern of the fire chief, and believe me, if I had a hydrant in front of my home, that would be the first place I would shovel. But how do you force people to shovel a hydrant? I mean, there's so many, it's just, one of those ordinances that no matter what you do, it's just one of those things that it's like a catch-22, you know? Like I said, who's exempt, who's not exempt, now you gotta, who's gonna enforce all this? I mean, we have so many illegal apartments that it's hard for our guys to enforce this right now. So if our city workers can't do this because it's gonna cost too much money, we're gonna pay it on the other end, we have to hire more code enforcement guys. So, I mean, where do we start? So if we're gonna hire more enforcement guys, then hire more city workers and start shoveling, I guess. It's just, I do wanna see the ordinance to give the benefit of the doubt, okay? I understand it's a public safety issue, and I certainly wanna keep the kids and everybody safe in the city. But this is just one of those ordinances that no matter what you do, it doesn't work. So, thank you.
Councilor Hanlon.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I'm one of those councilors that have seen the ordinance, and I have read the ordinance, and it's a good idea, and it has some merit to it, but it's not deep enough. Neither is the snow, I guess, but it needs much more work to be done to it. And I think it should go back to legislative affairs, because they're the ones that write the ordinances, and then maybe public safety afterwards, but legislative affairs first. And I'm looking at the letter from the police department, from the chief, and it says, I've seen many times first responders struggling in transporting an ill or injured person from their homes to an ambulance through knee-deep high snow. I've seen police officers slip and fall in an attempt to answer calls.
I've also seen firefighters have to shovel the hydrants before they can put out a fire and save a life. But you know, all these things that they say, somehow it gets done. Those people get to the ambulances, the firefighters do their jobs, opposites that slip and fall, get up and go right back to work. So I know, I want it to be understood that this doesn't stop the city from working. The city workers still go out and do their jobs, especially fire and police, they still get out there. So I mean, you know, good for them and everything. And the same thing with the fire department with shoveling out the hydrants. Since I've been living in Everett, which is 100 years now, I always shovel up my hydrant. Last year was kind of an exception. I couldn't get to it. But my major problem with that is that I and a couple of neighbors go out, we shovel like a 4-foot path around each hydrant, and it's the one on Main Street across the new restaurant there, just so everybody knows where it is. And we clear it out nice. And we go to bed, and in the morning, the plows come by all night long, and they're doing a good job too, and they plow right up to the curbstone on Main Street. And that hydrant is now covered in ice, and it's very difficult to get out there. You need a pick and a shovel to get that out of there. So, you know, a lot has got to go into this thing to find out what the heck we're going to do with it. So I would like to make a motion then that if you refer it back to Legislative Affairs to work on it. And let's call in the city workers and people like that to tell us what they really need to have done.
Councilor Hamlin, we have 3 other people want to speak on it. Councilor McKinnon?
I think this should go into public safety, reason being is there was already a motion on the floor. We can send this into, question for our clerk is, as an ordinance, we could send this in, no problem?
Yeah, it was sent to Legislative Affairs to have the ordinance written. Now that it's written, public safety would be fine.
Okay. We need to.
Develop an ordinance right there, that's all it says.
Yeah, we need to actually get a hold of the ordinance so that all the members can see this, so there's no questions like this occurring, so. I didn't see this as well, so there's a number of questions that I have of enforcement and stuff like that. Getting it tonight, it's not doing me no good. So I'd like to see if we can get it a little sooner than that when we're sitting down to meet. Thank you.
Councilor Sani?
Thank you. I have a concern about going back into committee, because what happens is, there's only half of us who are in committee, only a few of us, and we don't hear the concerns of all our colleagues. And my concern here is, throwing it into public safety, you're only gonna have a few of the colleagues that probably, some of us, myself, serve on the same committee as Rules and Ordinance or Legislative Affairs. I think we should have a meeting as all of us, and address all our concerns, because only a few show up, and we're not hearing everybody's sides. So I don't believe it should go in committee. I think we should have everyone read the rules and ordinances that was passed at the committee, lay this over to the next meeting, and invite and have a meeting here with everybody, and have their concerns addressed. Put it in committee, we're not getting everybody's concerns. So I don't believe it should go back into committee. I believe it should be on the floor here, where everybody can have their concerns. I believe we should lay it over, so we can read the new ordinance that we're presenting, and then invite the police chief and the fire chief up here in front of all of us. We can ask all the questions we want to ask at our own meeting. Thank you.
Councilor Napolitano?
Thank you. I mean, I concur with Councilman Sarni. You know, it's already been in committee, we've written an ordinance. What the body needs is an opportunity to be able to read it and digest it so you can make an intelligent decision on it. I'm not promoting it. I'm also not attacking it. As I stated right up front, I'm on the fence with it. But I've been closer to this, to agreeing with this than I've ever been in 12 years that I've seen this ordinance come before us. I mean, what I'd honestly like to see is, yes, sit it back a week, till our next meeting, or 2 weeks, review it, take a look at it, because you're absolutely right. When we pass something in Legislative Affairs, you need to have a copy of what we passed in front of you to be able to digest before we come out here to make a vote. Having half of the council show up to vote for something that they haven't seen, I don't blame him for not voting for it. I wouldn't either. So, I mean, personally, I would agree. I'd like to see this held over for 2 weeks, or if you prefer to send it to public safety. But the thing is, the council has to understand what's in here to be able to ask the questions. And right now, we can't do that.
I'll rescind my motion.
This is an opportunity we've had closest than we've ever had before. Usually, this comes out at the end of winter, usually gets shot down by May, and then it doesn't come up again until the following May. Now, here we are coming into the winter months. If we pass this, we can pass this on a one-year trial basis. Let's see how it works with this winter. We're gonna know what problems we're gonna be facing. And if they don't work, then we rescind the ordinance. But right now, the key thing is, everybody needs to read it, understand what's in here, formulate your questions on the ordinance. Then, I believe, we'd be better suited to make a vote at our next meeting. But in the meantime, if I could make a suggestion to the clerk, through the clerk committees too, we really need to get these changes out to the body, so the body has opportunity to be able to digest it.
You all have a copy of it?
Now
Yeah.
we do. But I believe we met.
Yeah, that would be,
last week.
not to throw them on the bus, that
We'll-
would be the clerk of
we'll-
committees.
Right. I'll talk to the clerk and
Yep.
see if we can kind of work that around. And he does a great job for us. I'm not attacking him, but.
I don't want to throw them under the
You can't
bus
vote for
either.
something that we've spent time in committee or creating if you don't have an opportunity to read it, to vote on it.
Council, so
Thank you.
you want to refer it back to the next meeting here, but are we gonna develop an ordinance at this
Well, we
committee?
have an ordinance developed.
We have an ordinance, so what?
What I would recommend, if I could, Mr. President, is that we hold this over till our next meeting. Everybody take the time to read this. Now, if you come back in here and you've got a series of questions, then we need to send it back in committee to iron those questions out. But if you can get your questions answered, you can decide up or down, yes or no, and we can move on. You know, I mean, some of us have seen the snow removal ordinance so many times that it's starting to just be a pain. But, you know, if there's any value to this, let's not throw it away. Okay, if the questions are so much that we can't feel that this works, then let's not pass it. But right now, everybody needs to read it, to know what it is. That's all I'm saying.
I think what needs
I'll
to be
rescind my
done,
motion, Mr.
Excuse me.
President.
Go ahead.
if I could, I think what needs to be done is, if there's a Thursday evening meeting
Yep.
before our regular meeting, this stuff does not appear in the agenda, it goes to our next meeting. Because the agenda's already been prepared.
I wholeheartedly
And I
agree
think
with
that would give us, for instance, you would not have been voting on this one until October 6th.
Yep.
And you would have had plenty of time to look at it. I think that's the resolution for that.
I agree.
That's good. We have Council McGonigal, you haven't spoken yet.
Just very brief. I do agree with Council Asani and Council Napolitano. Give everybody the chance of 2 weeks to read this. I've been an opponent of this since I've been an elected official, because I didn't know how you could enforce it, and I still didn't believe that we can force somebody to shovel a sidewalk that they don't own, okay? But with the letters I'm getting from the police chief, from the fire chief, speaking with them, my views are being changed, because I state this, I'm out in these storms. And I see what the city workers go through and what our residents go through. But what I want to say, Mr. President, is that we've got 2 weeks to look at this. Call the city solicitor's office. Call John at, City Services, the director down at City Services, and ask him the questions that you have. So when we come back in 2 weeks, we're ready to put this to a vote, to implement any amendments, but I think it gives it plenty of time to do it, so we don't keep snowballing it and putting it into committees. I think, I can't agree more with Councilor Asani that I believe that's what we should do. And if we have questions, ask the proper authorities, call the city solicitor's office, call the chief, you know what I mean? And it's simple, they pretty much answer your questions right then and there. So we're prepared to amend it and vote on it in 2 weeks, and that way you can implement it, like Councilor Napolitano said, for this winter, and see how it works. Thank you, Mr. President.
It's gonna get laid over anyhow, so, Councilman Kidd will be your last.
Thank you, Mr. President, through you. How do we go about changing this if we're just going to lay it over?
I mean,
How do we
change-
go
that's
about
what my
changing it?
concern was, are we going to change it?
How are we gonna
vote
tweak
on
it? How are
right
we
here?
gonna
You can
change
make
it?
amendments directly on the floor. and
So we can amend-
Each amendment is voted on, yes.
So if we could do that tonight, then,
No, let's refer this, read that, let's
Put 2
refer it
weeks later
to,
on the table?
oh, no, we, not enough discussion. So So we have a motion.
Make a motion to refer this to the October 6th meeting.
Do we have a second on that?
Second.
Motion made, second.
I think
refer
I'm
this
wrong
to
on the October 6th. I think it's the day after Columbus Day, October 14th.
It is, yeah.
No, Columbus Day is the 13th. We talked.
To our next regularly scheduled meeting. Go there.
Motion made to refer to the next scheduled meeting. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, and read everything over, and come here and we'll, all
Mr. Chairman.
right. Clerk, next, number 6.
Item number 6, Committee on Legislative Affairs, Election Report. The Committee on Legislative Affairs established an ordinance that all wheelchair and electric scooters have a 3-foot flag somewhere on the scooter or wheelchair to prevent accidents at crosswalks which cannot be seen on oncoming vehicles while heading out into the street or into traffic, with a recommendation to refer back to sponsor.
Motion to refer back to sponsor.
Motion made, second, revert back to sponsor. All in favor?
Actually, on the motion,
Good.
Mr. President, on that motion, what I'd like to do here is explain it, because it came back from ADA that it was discriminatory, and that was not our intent in doing this. So the intent was to actually put this out there so that we could discuss it at committee meetings and then actually go forward and try to help these people so that they're not just riding out into traffic or something to that effect with scooters or handicap wheelchairs. So that was the intent. There was no, intent on this to discriminate against anybody or anyone with a scooter or anything like that, okay? So I just wanted to clear that up. Thank you. Your name was on it as well as mine,
Yeah, I know.
so.
Well, we had the information from Ms. Councilor Sani. We don't have a copy of that, do you? Okay, what's the motion we have out here? Motion made and second, refer back to sponsor. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Mr. Chairman,
Item 7, yes.
Chairman, could we take items 7, 8, and 10 collectively?
7 is supposed to refer.
Okay, motion to take 7, 8, 9, and 10
No, no, not
collectively?
nine.
No, 8.
7, 8, and 10.
7, 8, and 10 collectively. All in favor? Opposed? Clerk read 7, 8, and 10, please.
Mr. Chairman, make a motion, we waive the reading.
7 is a committee
waive the
report on an ordinance amending the animal control laws in the city of Everett.
It's supposed to be on the calendar.
8 is a legislative committee report on an ordinance establishing code of ethics for all municipal employees. And 10 is legislative affairs committee report on city government return 90% of all revenue derived from wind project funds to the taxpayer base. All 3 of these are still in committee.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to grant further time. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? They have been granted further time. Clerk read item number 9.
Item number 9 is Legislative Affairs and Election Committee report to amend City Council rules by adding that the committee and/or special meetings not to be scheduled before 6 p.m. to ensure maximum participation of the city councilors. And it be further ordered that the City Council Committee and/or special City Council meetings not be scheduled at the same time to ensure maximum amount of member participation at each meeting, with a recommendation to refer to city clerks. The appropriate language could be applied to the rule, to the order for a rule amendment.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to refer to the city clerk. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Piece has been referred to the city clerk. Clerk read item number 11.
Item number 11, Legislative Affairs Election Committee report. The City of Everett offered TIF agreements which include the average commercial rates of our four bordering cities, Medford, Malden, Somerville, and Chelsea, with a minimum of 3 years and a maximum of 4 years, with a recommendation to refer to the city clerk to begin the home rule petition process.
If I may, from here, I believe Mr. Rodriguez mentioned something between a TIF and a, someone make a motion of,
Could we have Mr. Rodriguez before us, please?
motion made and second, have Solicitor Rodriguez before us.
Good evening, Dave Rodriguez, Assistant City Solicitor.
If I may, because I was at the meeting the other night. Mr. Rodriguez, we're speaking about this piece, and the TIF wouldn't be what it is, it's an SBA or something like that, or?
An STA, a special tax
STA.
agreement. Yep, that's what I refer to the other.
So would we have to change?
Similar to what we gave L Knife,
Okay.
and that was voted on and approved.
So would we have to, if we're gonna start the home rule process, we'd have to change this from a TIF agreement to an STA agreement? An STA or whatever?
I don't know the answer to that. It would depend on the structure of the home rule and what was included within it.
Yep.
Once the language starts to develop a little bit more, we can probably pick the vehicle that may fit best. I honestly, I wouldn't be prepared to give you an answer tonight.
Yeah,
on
because
which
I
vehicle
wanted
is best.
them to begin the home rule petition on this if we don't know what we,
Well, yeah, and TIFs and STAs are two vehicles that are used to provide tax relief in order, that are related to, developments or projects. There are others available as well, so there might be other tax, that might be fit what the council's looking for as well.
we have questions. Councilor Hillman?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I was at the meeting when we did this, and I took it home and I thought about it for a while. And when we offer a TIF agreement or any other kind of agreement, we're offering it to a company that wants to come in here. And as I read this, it says that the city of Everett offered TIF agreements which include the average commercial rates for 4 of the cities. But we're not offering it to anybody. We're just saying we would like to be able to do that. We're not actually offering a TIF agreement to anybody.
Which we are now. We're able to offer them the TIF, we're able to offer TIF agreements now, subject
Yes,
to approval.
I know
So,
we are.
Yeah.
But all we're saying is, we're saying to whoever is in authority, is to take these 4 cities, get an average of them, and offer that in the TIF agreement, because we don't make up TIF agreements, the mayor does.
He presents them to the council, yeah.
Right, so all we're asking, and then it comes back to us, but all we're asking here.
And they're
is-
approved by the state.
Right, but would they consider this resolution? And that's all we're doing. We're not making a TIF agreement, so I don't know why it has to go anywhere, except to go to the mayor to say, please consider this.
That's why, it speaks to my point, that kind of the devil's in the details. We'd have to see exactly what we're looking to do. If we can do it in-house, that's great. What I would suggest is to have, if you would like to have a further committee meeting, a more in-depth committee meeting with Melissa from the mayor's office, Jamie from planning and development, Pam from assessing, they can give you all the education that any counselor would need relative to any of the tax agreements or tax incentive agreements that are available to cities and towns to offer to
Okay.
developers. I think that would be very helpful for all the
But
counselors.
what I'm saying is that why do we need to do that? All we're saying is that, consider this. It's just like a resolution going to the mayor. Please consider that you take these 4 cities, our surrounding committees, take an average of them, and use that as the TIF agreement, whatever we give back to it.
Not even call it a
It's
TIF
not a law.
agreement.
We're not
Don't
making
even
a-
call it a TIF agreement.
Yeah,
Not an ordinance, it's nothing. It's just that we're asking the mayor to please consider this, and that's what you wanted, right, Mike?
Yeah, could we make this an ordinance?
No,
We can make an ordinance,
no.
but it doesn't have to be a TIF agreement either. It can just be
A recommendation.
a recommendation for that it's out there, that it's available if somebody wants to relocate it, instead of giving them 0, 25, 75, at least we keep them right in line with everybody else. We're competitive now.
Right, so I would think that's what you want to do.
Yes.
Make it as a resolution and send it along.
The amendment would be to, if I may, Mr. President, the amendment would be to, is this a resolution? If it's not a resolution, we have to turn it into a
Resolution.
resolution, and have it read that His Honor the Mayor can amend it to say, a resolution that His Honor the Mayor consider offering tax incentive agreements that include the average commercial rates of the 4 bordering cities, et cetera.
Oh. Second motion.
Thank you, Counsel.
Very good.
Council's still good.
Yes, I can. Mr. Chair, make that in the form of a motion.
Thank you.
It wasn't, okay.
Yeah, so amended to a resolution, and the wording would be that, a resolution that His Honor the Mayor consider offering tax incentive agreements, which opens it up to all of them, which includes the average commercial rates of the 4 bordering cities, Malden, Medford, Papua, for a minimum of 3 years and maximum of 4 years.
And this would be referred to here.
Yes. He made that in the file. Counselor Handler put it in the form of a motion.
And I'll second that.
As worded?
Yep.
As amended? Okay, so motion made second to refer this to the mayor's
No,
office.
it's on the amendment first.
Motion made to amend this to read the clerk's words on this. This
All
will
in
be a
favor?
voice.
Yep.
Roll call? Roll call vote?
Voice.
Voice, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye opposed? Okay. Motion made and second, refer to the mayor's office as amended. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye opposed? It is referred to the mayor's office as amended.
Item number 12 is a resolution sponsored by Council Sal Sachetta, the auditor or city services director appeared to give the following information: how many red brick colored frosting walks have been installed to date, at what cost, how many more to be installed, and what cost, have we gone beyond our budgeted cost appropriations?
Council Sal Sachetta.
Make a motion to invite
Jay Mark.
Ray Ducat and Rich
Motion made to invite Mr. Viskey and Mr. Marcotte to the Kirby Couch. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Gentlemen, Council Capone, oh, excuse me, Council Sachetta first.
Thank you very much for appearing tonight. Could you answer some of those questions, and when you do, I have some other questions for you. Do you have it in front of you, or do you want me to read them to you?
No, I have the questions in front of me. Oh, there we go. I'm sorry. Took me a second. The answer to your question, we've done 41 crosswalks in the city. We spent $192,181 to date
192,000?
on 41 crosswalks.
Okay. And 41?
We've done
crosswalks.
41. We've reached our we've reached our maximum we can do with the money appropriated at this point, so as of right now, we've done 41 crosswalks over. We spent $192,181, and any more crosswalks we'll probably hold off till the spring when we get, do our capital plan and submit for your consideration.
Now, to begin with, I disagree with the 41. I counted 46 logged crosswalks at 14 different locations, but that's beside the point. I did find out that you did go to the limit. You got 50,000 in 2014 and 50,000 in 2015.
Well, we had $139,000 from prior years plus $75,000 in fiscal year 14, fiscal year 15, I'm sorry.
I read the budget book and it said $50,000 applied for the crosswalks in 2014 and $50,000 for the crosswalks in 2015 fiscal year.
Some of it was in the capital budget as well. Again, we had $139,000 plus $75,000 in this year's budget, so total is $214,000. Some of the money that hasn't been expended, we're waiting for some police detail bills, so we have to pay
Well,
for
that
it.
was the next question I had. How many, does this include police details on these?
It is not.
It does,
It does not.
or it does not? How does that affect the budget? Where do you put that item?
Well, we got capacity from the $214,000 less the $192 that we've expended, so we're just waiting to process the balance of the police detail bills.
The next question I have there, who chooses where these crosswalks are gonna be? How is it chosen? Do you have a study on it, or does it come from the police department, or what?
We had a meeting back in the end of May, beginning of June timeframe with the chief of fire and all the superintendents from the schools, elementary schools, all the way up to the high school. And we asked them what the hot spots were for them as far as the crosswalks were for their schools. And what we came up with, we also had World Tech Engineering, the consulting group, help us with pinpointing ones that were already ADA accessible and were the ones that we can do right away. And what they came up with was the 41 that we, I have a list I can get to the entire council of what was done. But from that meeting, we came up with the priority list, and that's, the schools was the #1 priority.
Thank you. Two more short questions. How long do you expect these to last?
Their expected life, their life expectancy is 20 years, and that's 20 years, yes, sir. When you said you counted 46, we did a pilot of 3 of them on Elm Street by the high school and the police station. Those 3 were, went through the normal winter operations, salt operations, plowing, and they held up phenomenally, in my opinion. And from there, we went and we then implemented the next 41.
Now, to the auditor, you say you're gonna ask for more money to do more of these? How many more are we gonna do?
We haven't really started discussing fiscal year 16 capital improvement plan. We sit down with all departments, we go through the wish list, so to speak, of all the departmental needs, and we try to fund as much as we could with the money we have, and try to spread it out and distribute it as equally and fairly as possible. So it's hard for me to say how many there are off the top of my head. I don't know how many crosswalks there are in the entire city, but we always try to maximize the dollar value with what we're doing. So right at this point, that's a long way of saying it. I don't have an answer to that question right now.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Through you to our invited guests. First of all, they look beautiful, so that's nice. I just wanted to touch base on some of the numbers. So if I have your numbers right, it was about 192,041 are implemented, and that does not include police details.
Correct.
Okay, so it's roughly about $4,700 per intersection.
I think it's $19 a square foot is what, we
Okay.
put it out to bid.
Sure.
We got the bids back. The bid was $19 a square foot. Some of them are wider, narrower,
Yeah.
longer, shorter, so, the 41 we did, they're various lengths and widths. But
What's the average cost for the detail expense associated with that
It takes a
average?
day to put one in, so you need probably one detail per job.
So that's about $350?
Yeah, probably, $43 an hour times 8 hours, yeah.
And one of the questions was answered about the durability. What's the expense on a traditional crosswalk?
I got the answer to that.
Okay, good.
The brick, if you were gonna compare like the brick and mortar that's being done right now in Somerville, the crosswalk, that would be comparison to Broadway for length and square footage. They're paying about $300 a yard, square yard, so it's about $30 a square foot.
And how about just the straight paint? You know, we paint the white and then maybe do the hash
The
marks?
thermoplastic is, it's a different thought process. That's usually like a 2 to 3 year application. You're doing it every 2 to 3 years.
Okay.
And it's probably 25% of the cost.
Okay, so it's about a fourth of the cost, but it lasts about a seventh
Yeah, the
of the
white.
timeframe.
Correct. Thermoplastic is not known to last.
And the last question I have is, you'd said that there were some pilot crosswalks that were implemented. They've gone through the winter, they've gone through plowing, sanding, et cetera. Could you give the locations? I'd love to take a look at those, see how they held up.
Elm Street, right by the one going across the police station to the walkway to Glendale Park, and the other two are going up towards the high school.
Okay, great. Thank you. I have no other questions. Thank you very much.
Council Napolitano.
Thank you. Through you to our guests. Now, these should last about 20 years?
Correct.
Is there a warranty for the first year or two with these?
Felix Marino, I don't believe there is a warranty, but they stand behind their work. If there is any blemishes or indiscrepancies, they'll come right back and they'll take care of it. We've already asked them to do Shoot and Dunster. There was a discrepancy there. Councilman McKinnon knows what I'm talking about. They came right out there, ground it down to pavement, and they reapplied the whole thing.
Was there a cost to the city for that?
No, absolutely not.
My main concerns with this is that the initial application, these were first rolled out about 3 years ago. Those sidewalks and squares are cracked. A lot of them have to be redone. I'm just concerned that, and this was the same question I asked during the budget hearing, was whether it was a different process or different durability for this. Are these sidewalks rated for the type of industrial strength traffic that we get up Route 99?
Absolutely. The ones that you're talking about, Everett Square, is Broadway and Chelsea, I believe. Those are those are totally different material, totally different application than what we just recently put down. The one that was put down at Everett, or excuse me, Broadway and Chelsea was I believe a polyvinyl material. This material that's used is a poly asphalt adhesive, which is like 3-4 times more durable than, it's got actual flex to it, where the vinyl was more brittle. They actually got away from that product altogether about 3 years ago.
Right, and are you maintaining or at least inspecting these sidewalks over a period of time to see how they're holding up?
Absolutely. The I have gone to every single site, and I've looked at it because I've grown a relationship with the crews out there, Victor and them, and they will tell us if they have issues with, like, specific water structures that might be sticking out, like a turning box valve for us, or a manhole, or some type of, and they'll run it by us to, game plan as to how they're gonna lay this out and design, the pattern and stuff like that.
All right, thank you.
Counsel McGonigal, then Counsel Del Sola.
Just very quickly, I think Jay answered it. Is there any maintenance for us to preserve these crosswalks? That's all. You're telling us that they're gonna last 20 years? Do we have to still go and repaint, anything on them? Or, because I'm not familiar with them. I think they look great.
No,
And I'm hoping they do last, Jay.
The only thing that we would need to do probably every 5 years is to pressure wash them, and they would look brand new.
Thanks.
Counsel Del Sola.
I have a quick question. The cost, we know what the cost is. Is there a difference if you didn't have the brick look? I mean, it looks great, don't get me wrong. I'm just curious, if you didn't have the brick look and you had the white lines with the maroon in the middle, without the brick look, is there any savings in that or no?
I think Councilmember Capone asked the question earlier. You can do the thermoplastic in the red and the white. The thermoplastic, though, is not, it's not a durable product. It sticks up about a half inch or so, and in the cold conditions with the snow plow and the salt, it's known to start to peel or start to break apart. And it's a 2 to 3 year application. You'll see the white of these crosswalks starting to go.
Right.
Before you see anything happen to the actual brick pattern. The white is actual thermoplastic that we have right now in the crosswalks.
They look great. If it's going to help
Well,
with safety, then I got no issues on the cost. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. The matters before you. Motion made and seconded, refer back to sponsor. All in favor? Aye, opposed? Motion made and seconded, adjourned. All in favor? Opposed? No one's opposed? No one's opposed?